So I thought I'd do a little review video of my Fiesta ST. Approaching 2 years of ownership now. What have we got behind me? Yeah, approaching 2 years of ownership now. Got the car in Feb 2014, so February I would have owned it for 2 years. During that time I've added the Mountain Tune upgrade, the MP215 upgrade, which in my opinion finished the car off, just made it as it should have come out of the factory really. First of all, I'll get started on the bad points of the car. Having lived with this car for a while now, the bad points that I've picked up on. Now I know a lot of people do say about the ride. The ride is very firm. I don't know if you can see bobbing up and down a little bit on these back roads. It does tend to go right through your body, but when I'm on my own I don't really notice it, to be honest. I'm so used to it. It's when I've got a passenger in the passenger seat and I can see him bobbing up and down. I normally comment on how bumpy the car is. So yeah, I see that as being a bit of a negative. However, personally, it doesn't bother me when I'm on my own in the car. And you know, to have the handling you get, you've got to have a compromise there with the ride comfort. So it's to be expected in a way. Another negative I'd say is the build quality of this car compared to the Focus, which is quite good, I think now, the facelift Focus. This car isn't the best. You've got some hard plastics, a lot of rattles as well. I've got a lot of rattles in the back, particularly where the speakers are. It does my head in sometimes when they're rattling away. I can hear them now, so I have to turn the music up to try and drown that out. Probably could take it back to Ford to rectify the warranty, but just haven't got around to it yet. So they're two of my main gripes. The seat, I love these seats, they're really comfortable, they really do hold you in. However, I struggle to get, I always kind of think I'm sat at too much of an angle on the base of the seat. And if I pump it up, I'm then too high up. So, you know, it might just be me personally, but that's another issue for me. Other than that, I've got the ST2, so I've got the sat-nav and the heated seats. I don't have the climate control. I've got the analog heating system, but it's pretty well spec'd. It does all, you know, everything I need. The sat nav's good. It's a little bit messy with the buttons, I suppose, trying to negotiate to a different location when you're driving along. I know the new Sync 2 systems have got voice control sat nav, which is a lot better. So you have to pull over and punch in the postcode, etc., where you're going. But other than that, it's not too bad. They're probably the only negative kind of points I can think of. Everything else about this car is fantastic. I've got a lot of headroom. I mean, I'm not the tallest person in the world, but I've got quite a bit of headroom. I'm sitting nicely at the moment. It's quite spacious inside this cabin for a small car. Yeah, little cubby hole here for a little storage compartment and armrest. Let's get around this corner. Some handy little bits for your drinks bottle in the side door pockets here, down here. 2 cup holders, a little bit for your keys, because obviously it's keyless go, so you have your keys rattling around in the car when you're driving along. So yeah, it's pretty decent really. Now the main thing about the car is, the good thing, the excellent thing about this car is the way it drives, the way it performs, the way it sounds from inside. It's absolutely fantastic. It's also a great looking car from the outside. Some might say it sits a little bit too high out of the factory. Probably tend to agree. However, I think if I did get the eye-back springs that are available from Ford, I think I'd end up scraping, bottoming out when I go to certain places. So I'm happy just to leave it as it is, to be honest. So yeah, driving along in the car, I mean, when you're just cruising around normally, it's just like a normal Fiesta really. It's not loud inside, it's smooth, yes, it's pleasant. It's when you decide to unleash the car, it becomes a different beast. I mean, I'll just give it some accelerating. I'll accelerate now for you just so you can hear the engine. It sounds absolutely bloody fantastic. And it pulls all the way to about 7,000 revs, just below 7,000 revs, and you've got power pretty much all the way up. Particularly now with the mount tune, as I said earlier, from third gear onwards, it just goes. It's quite a bit quicker than the standard Fiesta ST, to 100 miles an hour, so I believe. And I've actually tested it with a friend's car. We've pulled side by side, and I've been visibly pulling away from him. So it's definitely beneficial. It just sounds great. Doesn't matter what gear you're in. Put your foot down, and the car just goes. Fantastic. The steering input's really good, it's really responsive. Electric steering. Some people don't agree with the electric steering, they like to have the old school steering systems, but I like it. I think it's good. It's very responsive. It's not too heavy, it's not too light. It's got a sort of, yeah, a nice natural sort of feel to it. No issues there. When you upgrade to the mount tune, I've also got the mount tune boost pipe as well. You get a nice dump from the dump valve. I don't know if you can hear it. I'll try and you get a nice little I think the specs for this car now are 215 brake horsepower, approximately, around that area, and I think 230 pound-foot of torque, which is quite a lot. It's quite a nice amount with the upgrade. I think any more power, it would probably be a bit too much, because with the traction control off in this car, in second gear, do get some wheel spin, but when it's wet, even in fourth sometimes, depending on the road surface, it does spin the wheels up. So I think any more power than I've already got, I think would be a waste. Through the front wheels in this car without an LSD, it's pointless. So yeah, it's just the right amount of power, I think. So anyway, back to the whole point of this video. After 2 years of ownership, I don't want to get rid of it. I still love it. It still puts a smile on my face. It still feels fast. I know some cars after a while they start to feel like they're slowing down a bit, but no, this still feels fast to me, especially because it's so small. It's like a little go-kart. I'm hoping to hold out for the Focus RS, which is coming up next year, so I'm happy to hang on to this car. Until then, I've got no issues with that at all. This car in particular has covered 33,000 miles now. I do quite a lot of miles in it, but at the end of the day, you buy a car to drive. I don't see the point in buying a car, having it in the garage the whole time. If you're not going to use it, you might as well get in it and drive it. That's what it's for. If you can't afford to get in it and drive it, then there's no point in owning it. Buy something cheaper. In the grand scheme of things, though, these cars aren't expensive now. I think you can pick these up for about 12,000 for a reasonable one. So I know 12,000 is quite a lot, but compared to what they were when they came out, when they're brand new, I think you're looking at 17,000, maybe 18,000, something like that. 12,000 for a car that's going to still have full warranty on it isn't that bad. I think it's time to have a little bit of fun now. So well. this car is at home on a back road, on a B road, a British B road. This car is at home. I'm pretty sure this thing will hang on to the back of anything on a B road. You've got so much power out the corner and enough straight line speed just to hang on to superior cars before you get to the next bend. And when you get to the next bend, they're not going to be getting away from you. It's like a little terrorist, this car. You can never get rid of it. Probably not the most PC thing I've ever said. It's always chewing away at the heels of pretty much anything. Fuel-wise, I average 32 miles per gallon, which compared to my old Focus ST, which averaged 24, that's pretty damn good in my opinion. And running costs, I've got a service plan through Ford, which is, I think it's about £13 a month. Providing I don't really do over 12,000 miles a year, that covers all the servicing. And if you do go over your mileage, you'll have to pay a shortfall. I had to pay a shortfall this time round, which is about £30, I think. But the service plan is quite a good thing to have if you're happy to take your car to Ford for servicing. The tyres, I've had a couple of pairs of front tyres now. You're looking at, for the Bridgestones the car comes with, the Potenzas, you're looking at about £75 a corner from my tyres, which isn't too bad. I think Ford will probably charge over 100 for a tyre, but you can get them a lot cheaper online. So yeah, that's the best thing to do. So yeah, I mean overall, yeah, I think this car's great. If anyone's thinking about buying one, I wouldn't hesitate. Just go and do it. Give it a test drive. Once you've driven it, you'll want to buy it. I guarantee you.